Some of your worst nightmares coming true if you are an Apex Legends esports fanatic or fan. Today we're diving into some big news, bombshell news that was dropped off by Sweet Dreams yesterday. If you haven't seen it already, obviously not looking good and not what a lot of people wanted to see and hear, especially if you are enthusiasts inside of the scene. Also got some roster changes as well to keep up with going into year 5. Let's dive in and talk about what in the world is going on, especially with the Sweet Dreams conversation. I guess we'll start it off there. How can I talk about roster changes if we're already mentioning the Sweet Dreams stuff? So Sweet comes off, and I basically made this post yesterday that he declined a roster with a top 5 player on it that wanted to create a team with him, and basically because he is stepping away from ALGS due to the decline of the scene, and basically also said that he's going to sit back and evaluate Apex's recovery. Like, hey, it's doing bad, I'm going to step back, I'm going to watch, I'm still going to play ranked, I'm going to stream, but I'm not going to sit here and compete anymore because I'm worried about the game. If I see that it gets better, maybe then I do plan to come back. He did make that clear. So his official statement was the following. Let's go ahead and minimize this a little bit so you can actually read it. It's pretty long, but I do want to give it word for word because I feel like you know, its context is pretty important because I don't want to mess anything up. Sweet says this: hey everyone inside of his Discord, well, listen up, in case you have missed it, I haven't announced my year 5 plans yet. Everybody's obviously been waiting. He says, after spending for the better part of 2 weeks in negotiations and talks with orgs and players, the unfortunate reality set in that Apex is no longer financially viable for me. I'll explain. The partner program with organizations, which we talked about in a previous video, is now confirmed with what he's about to say here. The partner program with organizations, which subsidize part of team salaries, was fully removed this year, which created a huge pay disparity to prior years. Sadly, this news was coupled with the rumor, quote, not a rumor, in parentheses. So he's kind of confirming again that ALGS year 6 is canceled. This created a situation in which pay and org support was declining. The commitment to continue the esport was abandoned. Yikes, not something you want to see. And a bunch of other behind the scenes stuff that I can't speak about. I'm surprised he even spoke about that part, saying now, given this reality, I stopped pursuing the 3 different rosters I had entertained and mostly spread the word to the pro scene that I am very, at the least, taking a break to see how things shake out. And in parentheses, thank you to the pros for keeping this very secretive. 2 days ago, I got approached by a top 5 player in the game who was interested in still creating a team, and I still declined coming back to play, which sucks because we would have made a great team and I really like them. So where does that leave us? I'm in no way, shape, or form done with Apex. There's freaking 80 teams going to LAN and it's just chaos this year. I'm just taking a potentially temporary backseat to things to see if the scope of ALGS broadens and lengthens. Pause. I'm taking a brief hiatus at the moment, setting up some things in my life that I've always wanted and needed time to do, like creating a business, building a team, but still fully intend on coming back and regularly streaming ranked with Naughty and crap to see maybe some other watch party stuff going on, competitive talk, who knows what he might do. But he says also potentially broaden the scope of my stream to new things. And in parentheses, I made more money in poker last night than the offered salary of the next 12 months combined of ALGS. Math. Anyways, I know this will come to a shock for some, and some may be sad, but just know I fully intend on making an impact this year, but just need to explore some other options. All right, I'll be fully expanding on this on stream soon and taking questions and stuff. Thanks as always, everyone. I hope you understand. For many of the homes I represented over the years and the True family have always been there for us. Excited to continue to build and blah blah blah. Anyways, Sweet comes out and says he's kind of done. Really sucks for the pro scene, and obviously that's not what any Apex competitive enthusiast wants to see. You even have some of the people commenting here like Dutch saying not something anyone wants to see. You've also had Proficiency. This is not a great look when thousands of people are playing qualifiers today. The PSQs are going on, and now they're looking at this and they're like, why would I even play if year 6 is canceled, if the esport is abandoned, right? And you've got some people that are hyping up this year, like we've got this crazy stuff, like this new format going on, 80 teams at LAN, going to be wild, and that's cool. But why such cool changes when the year is about to be its last, it seems like? I don't know, man. This is really unfortunate. What a bombshell that was. So if you hadn't missed the news, then well, you're finding it out here live on video. And this is I'm sorry this is the way you found out. Maybe you need more time to process it. Pause the video, sob what you need to sob, and let's get back into it, because roster changes are still going on. You might as well keep the channel and all the news going, because year 5 still needs coverage, and some things can happen in a year, right? Who knows? Maybe Apex decides to 360 no scope EA and get us back on track. Who knows? But it's obvious at this point, like, you know, you can ride the train all you want to and bandwagon of Apex is good or it's not good, but at the end of the day, if what he's saying is going to turn out to be true, right? If ALGS year 6 is actually going to be canceled, then it's going to take a miracle, the last ditch effort right here, right now, to save the day, right? So like, you know, you might as well just keep going. Somebody's got to say something. Somebody's got to do something if this ship's going to not sink. So, you know, we'll catch it live on camera if it happens. Anyways, Complexity also making a roster change going into year 5. Enemy is that player. I'm kind of surprised. Enemy was probably one of the hottest controller players for a very long time. He comes out to say the lads officially let me know they're going to part ways with me for year 5 of ALGS. So I will now be looking at literally any offer for year 5 ALGS. Please hit me up if you're interested. I mean, this guy doesn't even need a voucher, but he got him, of course. Kimchi comes out to say, you know, from CC on dumpers to ESEA to champs. Crazy timeline with the boy. Great teammate with friend and amazing work ethic as well. Monsoon also said, humongous vouch. I genuinely enjoyed teaming with him. One of the best teammates or better teammates I've had. This kid is such a bright light and has such a bright future ahead of him. I truly wish him nothing but the best. Enemy was so talented. So obviously we're hoping he gets on a pretty talented roster. Now, another roster to look at, if you've been looking at Scrim results over the last couple of days, which we'll cover here as well, you'll notice that specifically the recent one, you had a team that was kind of blowing up and a lot of people were kind of excited about, because it was an underdog roster, being that, you know, these names are all well known, of course, but I don't think anybody saw them doing this good. And that's Duplex, Fun from NRG, and Deeds, of course, from the Tripods. Well, these guys didn't have a lot of hype for them, but they did do solid. Just the day before that Scrim, however, they weren't even playing with each other. You had Furia, xCloud9, Oblivion up here in the top 3, Team Falcons up there, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, Huss was playing, that was his Duplex playing with Skittlecakes and Jet over here. Well, then you go the following day, and you've got Virtus Pro, Dude's Night Out, which is DNO, and that's the roster we're talking about here, and Aim Assist. Now this one is no surprise. You've got Virtus Pro, which is the Zach Mazer Lou Slayer team, not making any roster change, looking good, proud of them. DNO though, Duplex, Deeds, and Fun. This roster may be something to actually take a look at, because under it you've also got, look at both of these guys getting better, right? You had Dupe playing with Skittlecakes and Gent, and on this one you've got Dupe playing with Fun and Deeds, and Skittlecakes and Gent playing with Design, and all of them got better results, right? DNO in second, Aim Assist in third. So good for them, right? It seems like this is something that may be beneficial for both of these rosters, and I think a lot of people are probably wanting to see something weird, something new, something out there that just going to click. That's kind of the same vibe I got with Furia over a year ago, when they just kind of, you know, came out of nowhere, just started winning and becoming the most dominant team inside of scrims, and they are still kind of that way today. They just aren't the most dominant or winning team when it comes to tournaments or lands and whatnot. Anyhow, Furia obviously is still a pretty good team in general, but DNO could be that next up and coming squad that just matches and clicks together. Time will tell, of course. Also want to make mention of some rule updates going on here, being that year 5 is going to be a little bit different, a different format, right? We talked about the ALGS Open, 80 teams at LAN is wild. Well, EA has also been, you know, an organization that has been known to come under some fire by not financially helping some of the teams that qualify. Now, while that is fixed basically in the normal side of things, it's not going to necessarily be the full case when it comes to ALGS Open, and that's because there's 40 more teams going. They will commit to paying for travel, but just note that hotels will no longer be covered for the ALGS Open. Now, this is a little bit different, obviously, than your typical pro scene. Last year, it was all like, you know, their travel was paid for, their hotel was paid for, their, you know, pretty much everything was taken care of. But there was some hot takes about people with the coaches, right? The coaches were having to raise funds to go, and that was something that everybody's been asking for them to cover. Well, this go around, it's a little bit different format, so I get it, right? This is 40 more teams. You got 80 teams there entirely. I think the travel is probably the most expensive part anyways. So, you know, not too bad. If they can just all bunch up together in a cheap hotel room or something like that, you'll get some you'll get some good bonding time for the roster, and on top of that, it'll save you some money. So anyways, EA looking to pay for the travel but not the hotel for ALGS Open this year. Just keep that in mind, especially for some of you players out there that are preparing for some of these qualifications. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below about the future of this esport. What do you think about Sweet's comments? And how are you feeling about some of these roster changes in the works as well? Like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with everything going inside of the world of Apex Legends esports news. And until the next time, we'll see you all later.